starters are, the newcomers who are just going out and starting up, don't have huge funds backing them. What do you see as the most practical way to treat a room to create adequate sound?
Well, I'll tell you what I've done in my own personal home studio, and that's create baffles. So what I've done is use industrial-grade air conditioning fiberglass insulation. The stuff that's cheap. You can get it at any AC supply house. Attach that to wooden panels, covered it with fabric. And I use those as paneling to alleviate the right angles. It's inexpensive, and it wouldn't be, you'd be surprised at just how well it works. You go into a Guitar Center or something like that, and they're going to sell you a package of foam for $200-300, and it's not going to be half as good.
Awesome. That's very good to know. We're almost out of time here. In the moments that we have left, Nick, do you have any summary, a basic summation of what you would advise, other than, going out and hiring you to come and set them up with the studio? Do you have a summary of what you would advise someone who is just starting out to do package deal?
Get a decent computer, get a decent audio interface. Your audio interface is just an input box. Think of it like a glorified external sound card. Think about how many microphones you're going to need running at a time. If you're a guitar player singer, you only need one or two. If you're a drummer, obviously, you're going to need many more. Think about the needs for your particular application and then go from there. The biggest thing I would recommend, I went to recording school, but that was a long time ago. At the time, there was no YouTube. Now there's so many resources out there. Just study over and over and over. And a lot of it's trial and error. Just go in there and start experimenting. Listen to what sounds good to you, and then backtrack and see what you did. Let it become part of your workflow.
Very good.
But YouTube is one of the best resources out there for that.
I agree, and there are so many resources there that, get online and search, and then, of course, trial and error after that. Nick Rogers, thank you so much for joining us with your invaluable advice and your experience, sharing it with us. Thank you for engineering our show all the time, too. So happy to have you.
My pleasure.
Come back and see us again, Nick. Thank you so much. And moving right along, we're going to hear from our next guest, Jiiniikwe Medicine Bird, who will be joining us right after we listen to Native Rock. There you have it. That's Jiiniikwe Medicine Bird, who has been with us before. She's back with us once again with actually a double-barrel treat for us. She's got 2 albums out now. One actually led to the other, and, well, let's let her tell you about it. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Jiiniikwe Medicine Bird. Hello there.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm fine. It's nice and sunny here in Colorado.
Wonderful. Yeah, well, we've got some sun down here. I think you're probably a little cooler than we are, but hey, that's Colorado for you. You've got 2 albums out, and you were telling me, well, we'll take it one step at a time, but one album led to another. Tell us first, if you will, about the first album with Journey.
Yes, the first album with Journey. I play in a lot of places and different places and whatever, and a lot of people don't know that I actually play music. They like me to come and they like me to do like the Indian thing and do drumming and singing, and I can do that. But I started playing music when I was young and started composing when I was 12. And so I played my own musical instruments. So I've always wanted just to do one album that was just instrumental. And so the song Journey that I did, when I created it or whatever, I got the idea or whatever. See, I had a number of songs already. It's like I'm always a year behind or whatever because the way I tweak my music and I save it or whatever and tweak it and whatever to a time that I'm ready to release it and create the album. So Journey came out actually. I was thinking instrumental, and so then I created that song. But I use a lot of things in my music, and a lot of people say, "Well, your music is different." Well, yeah, it is because it comes from the influences that you have as you're growing up or whatever. And mine is kind of like eclectic. It's kind of like a classical in a way, and it's also kind of rock in a way, and then also a little folk. And one guy said, "Well, then you're folk rock," and I said, "Well, maybe I am, But I also do Native American kind of traditional music too. So it's kind of a little bit of Destiny is a little bit of that type of music, and then it's also kind of like a collaboration mix-up of different kind of indigenous music. I think 2 of the songs, or one of the songs actually has a Hindu influence in it. So different types of cultural kind of influences are in that Destiny album. So that's how I went to the next one. Infinite Web is mostly instrumental, and so I play guitar. I play I overlap my music with different sounds with violin and then keyboards, and I try to stay away from unless I get beats that I feel like it's a beat, then I will stay away from maybe the beats so that the music will be fluid. And so like one of the songs on the second CD, which is Infinite Web, starts off with just a basic flute sound, and then it ended up, when I was done with it, it ended up something different. I think it sounded like the 1930s big band era, one of the songs. So that was how I did it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna start with the. Let's make sure that I get the right one. We're gonna start with the first album, the Journey album. We're going to play the title cut from that in just a moment. But John Bon Jovial, you've been waiting to jump in here.
Yeah, Jiiniikwe, I just wanted to ask you, you had hit on something about the influences of your music, and one of the questions that I always like to ask our guests is, who their musical heroes are, and or who could be a muse, if you will, because you mentioned rock and classical, and you mentioned folk music. And I don't want to necessarily try to categorize you as one type of musician or another, but I would like to know who has influenced you to get to a point in your life where you are now to make this beautiful music.
Starting off when I was young, I liked Liza Minnelli, and Judy Garland when I was young, and I liked Barbra Streisand, and I liked Engelbert Humperdinck, and I liked and then I grew up with the Beatles, and I loved the Beatles since I was real young. Matter of fact, I collected all their music, and then but I don't know if my music you can see the Beatles in my music or whatever, but I just like their willingness to take a risk and make a change in their own music, to make it their own. And I saw that with the Beatles. They didn't worry about sticking to one type of genre. They just kind of experimented, kind of flowed with the music
Right.
and when they were creating through time. And I kind of liked that, and that's what I wanted. Just for me, was just to create based on like a feeling I have, or maybe I'm thinking about something, and that sort of thing. And I didn't want to really do, because I can do really like music that's crying, like you're crying bar music, like you're
Right,
really
sure.
Crying in your beer.
depressed or something.
Right,
Yeah, crying in
exactly.
your beer kind of music.
Well, we learned from the last time you were on here that you have definitely done part, at least, of what you set out to do, and that is be yourself, create your own sound. You definitely don't follow any particular formula as far as genres or style of music. And if you want to classify it, I sort of would have to classify it as, well, let's see, alternative, Native American, folk, rock, pop, electro. Did I get them all? Or is there more?
Don't get too specific there.
I'll tell you what, let's let the music talk for itself. From the album Destiny, here is Jiiniikwe Medicine Bird. It's called The Journey.